Hello! Welcome to Ivanna's Norsk life. This is the last full video for this year, 2022. Of course, I want to summarize a bit this year, but mainly I want to focus in this video what is waiting for us in 2023 and what should we start preparing for. And I understand that of course this video will cover many different topics and it will be longer than usual, so most likely not everyone wants to watch everything that I'm gonna talk about. So in the description I will put a timestamps that you can just use to skip some content and only watch what you like and what you're interested in. This year was hard personally for me because of the war in Ukraine and my relatives being there. It is a very hard time for me. But at the same time, a lot of things has happened in Norway and globally as well, and they will have an impact on the 2023 year. And today in this video, this is what I want to talk about. What are the changes that happened in Norwegian government and Norwegian budget that you need to know about, that I haven't talked about because of the war in Ukraine? And we will talk slightly today about recession in Norway and globally. What is actually recession? How does it gonna affect Norway? How can you prepare yourself to these hard times? I will try to talk about this as well. And of course the tuition fees for master studies in Norway, because there are huge changes coming in 2023. They've been voted on 15th of December, so it's quite fresh news, and I hope that this video will help you to think together with me what can you do in 2023 to end the year much better than when you will be starting it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and write something in the comments to show your support to me. Let's start the vlog. Yes, this year was very different. Let's start with the small recap. What was that 2022 about? So in 2022 I didn't make that many videos and I almost all of the year I just disappeared. I've been trying to make content from time to time, but being honest, it was very hard. But the reason why I was kind of forced to have a pause and saving energy for the most important parts of my life because of the war. So when the war started in Ukraine, like the full-scale war started on the 24th of February 2022, so almost in the very beginning of the year, it hit me really hard. My dad, he was in Bucha at the time, and many people now know what is Bucha in Ukraine, right? A small town close to Kiev. And he was under occupation for the first months of the war. That was like psychologically it was extremely hard, and I tried to block and lock a lot of things in my life. So of course I disappeared from the YouTube just to deal with that, and I needed to learn how to go to work, how to do my job while my family in Ukraine is under possible attack every single moment, and you don't know that, you cannot check that. I understood that I need to donate more, I need to motivate people to donate more, so this year was about donating whatever I could to Ukraine and helping my family when I can. And I will keep doing that because the war is still going on, and I think a lot of also things that we will talk today about is also relevant and is one of the consequences of the war, of the Russia attack in Ukraine. So that's why it's like important to understand the reasons behind the things that are happening. Then I started to focus on my work a lot because I felt that it was one thing that is stable in my life and I have control over. So I started to work more and more, and as much as I could, as much as I had energy. And over time I was able to actually get back at the focus and being working. So it was pretty nice, but I didn't have that much spare energy, and I think that was the result why I had some tries to publish videos, but still wasn't still quite there. So then, of course, in October, when it was a huge discussion about tuition fees in Norway, that government wants to enforce tuition fee for international students, outside of European Union. I didn't cover that because my mind was elsewhere, and I don't think it was right of me, so I do want to cover it a bit more in this video, and I will do cover it more next year when we will have more details, more explanations from the government. But still, it doesn't mean that you cannot immigrate to Norway through the education. There are some ways, and I will share with you next year about them, and I will give you some hints this year as well. Then also another part that now I started to interview people for the IT work or like data related positions, and I know more details there that I also think are really cool and you should learn about. But the biggest challenge what I see of 2023, it is about recession globally and in Norway, and how it's gonna affect the job market in Norway, how it's gonna affect the prices in Norway, life cost, expenses. So it will be a lot of things to cover next year. This year had also many positive things. My promotion, getting Norwegian citizenship, so now I'm a Norwegian citizen. My family is still alive. It sounds crazy, but my members of my family are all alive, and I'm super lucky, and I hope it will stay that way for a much longer period and throughout the whole war. So this year we didn't travel that much, but we started to travel a bit, and I hope next year we'll do more. So the year is challenging. It opened in me many more things. It showed to me importance of different aspects of my life, of having a cup of coffee. Now I actually enjoy it much more than before. So I appreciate small things much more than before. That's the 2022 for me, and let's go into preparations and what is out there in 2023 for us. Talking about tuition fees in Norway, and as you know from my previous videos, Norway is one of the countries where they didn't have tuition fees for international students and for students in general. But unfortunately this year it is been voted just a couple of days ago by Norwegian government that it's gonna change. So Norway is gonna introduce tuition fees. It will be introduced in a very strange way, so we cannot say that this is the tuition fee that is gonna expect you. It also can change in the coming years if any of the Norwegian parties, political parties, can reverse it actually, if it will be enough of those who want to do that. So we'll see, maybe it's gonna change. But for current being, I think next year, much closer to the application days and so on, we will have a video update with many more details. Because for now, the things that I found, at least what I know for now, it is that tuition fees for Norwegian universities will be for students who are not Norwegians, who are outside of European Union, and it will be not per year per se, but it will be per subject. So it means that each university will evaluate the cost of the subject, and then to cover the cost of the subject, they will compute how much is kind of cost to attend it. And then depending on the selection of the courses that the person selects, we will have a price that is supposed to be paid. So for now, approximations that I've seen on the internet, it's about that tuition fee could vary per year between $13,000 to $19,000, but we will see. And also we don't know how different would it be for bachelors or for masters. So these are gonna come, and I need to invest a bit more time understanding these small details. But my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to introduce tuition fees. And one of the good things about that, if you're exchange student, you will not have a tuition fee. So it's only if you want to come for the complete like bachelor or complete master. If you come only as an exchange student for a semester or something, you will not have the tuition fee. So there are still possibilities how to immigrate to Norway and being educated in Norway. But we will talk about that a bit later, and my personal opinion that it will backfire a bit on the Norwegian economy, because a lot of students who came to study to Norway, they highly educated people after they completed their degrees. They were using that time to integrate a bit in Norwegian culture. They were able to find jobs by being a student in Norway, and that was a win situation for Norwegian economy. So then one of the things that I'm a bit skeptical about is that people who want to be educated, who tries and who wants to immigrate to some other country or want to have an exchange and gain new knowledge, they will have the doors locked for them, and that is not good. And also many of those who can afford to pay such tuition fees, they probably will select the different countries, especially United States, because they don't require you to learn Norwegian language, for instance, right? And the job market is much larger comparing to Norway. I have a bit of fear that it can affect Norwegian economy in a negative way, because fewer people will be able to find a job or get inside Norway, unless they will introduce some simplifications for the job search and job applications and so on. But for now, I want to see what is happening, and let's look on the updates and more details when they are available, closer to the application dates in the next year. Recession. Probably you have heard this word so many times this year, or it becomes more and more around you lately. Let's first talk what is recession. Recession, it is a time period in economy of the countries in which 2 quarters, so 1 quarter is 3 months, 2 quarters in a row, the economic KPI, so like the economy of the countries, it needs to decrease over 2 quarters, or like half of the year in a row. So when this is happening in the market, it means that it is a recession. There is a huge discussion about the global recession and recession in the United States. And some people are saying that the United States is already in the recession, while some others are saying that the recession this time, it's not exactly the same as you have a classic definition of the recession, and it is expected that the United States will enter in the recession in the first quarter of 2023. But in reality, this means that when economy of the country goes down, usually one of the first signs, or like one of the first results of it, that people are getting laid off. And this is what we've seen on the news a lot about large companies who started to decrease their employment staff by 10-15%. Even such huge companies as Facebook, Google, Apple, I don't remember that much in the news, Amazon, and so on, they already started doing that. So it means that people are losing their jobs, and it means that more people losing their jobs, and especially if still market was not that good prepared for that, it will become a much higher competition for the open jobs that are now. It means that companies will be hiring much less than before. So it means that many people will be without jobs in the future. So this is why recession is like, you need to think about that and you need to prepare yourself for that. And the question is, would it be globally? Most people say yes, because of the war in Ukraine, because of the Russia attack in Ukraine, and plus also pandemic and COVID. All of this is like coming all together, so it was kind of postponed, but still it looks like we will get into that. If to talk about recession in Norway and how it's gonna affect the job market in Norway, so recession in Norway, we will see if it's gonna happen. Most of the discussions are that yes, we will get into that. I already can see a slow change in the job market. When we were working on the hiring people and so on, I was looking at the LinkedIn, and it's like how people describe positions, because I needed to learn to do that. And I've seen so many different positions in data science, in IT in general, and I don't see, it's the question mark. Is it because it's already like people hired and it's end of the year and it's not a popular season for the hiring? This is what I want to check. Or is it because the Norwegian market is preparing itself that it can be recession in Norway, so they don't need to spend too much money and they just kind of need to go in the freeze spot when you don't hire and you don't lay off people? We will see. I still see many software engineers positions, and this is quite interesting sign, right? Extremely a lot of software engineering positions are open now in Norway, quite many. So for those who want to get a job in Norway, and you can target software engineering, do that. You don't need to know Norwegian for this type of position. English is enough, but software engineering is still a thing now in Norway. Let's go back to the recession in Norway. So recession in Norway could happen in 2023. If it's gonna happen, we will see it. It's like no one can predict it and say like 100% sure, so we will see. But if it's gonna happen, what it means for you? It means that either you need to be a really highly educated and a good professional to find a job, because you will start competing more with people who are inside Norway. And it means that it will be even harder for people outside of Norway to find a job. So that's why it's quite a serious thing. And how to prepare yourself for that, we will talk just in a couple of minutes about this part. How do I think you and me, and like how we can prepare for recession, and how to be ready for changes in the job market if they're gonna happen. So that's the news about Norwegian economy, and I want to go into one more direction as well. In addition to the recession and Norwegian economy, how stable it is and so on, so what is going on now in Norway is that the Norwegian Central Bank is increasing the interest rate on the loans. And we again get an increase that will happen in December. We officially also receive notification that it's gonna happen in January one more time. So it's kind of from, I think, from 20th or 18th of January, something like that, we will have new interest rate. And what it means that companies who are having a lot of debt or loan in the bank, they need to pay more interest rate. But in reality, what it also means that for people who live inside Norway, it affects their cost of the life. So for instance, it means that very soon we will see increase in the expenses in the renting apartments, because those who owns the apartments that they rent out, they will need to start to pay much higher interest rates, and of course, to be able to cover them, they will need to increase the price for the apartments, for the renting apartment. Then also we will see in February it's gonna be planned increase of the prices in the stores. I will do again the same video as we did last year, just comparison of the expenses of 2023 versus 2022, and we'll see how much it has increased, and we can look also on 2021. At the same time, also the gas also increases in price, but electricity, oh my god, electricity is just skyrocketing on the prices. So it means that household is becoming much harder to keep, and imagine if someone is getting unlucky and laid off and having all of these expenses increasing, it can be quite stressful for Norwegians as well. So that's why this year is about be ready to anything that can come on your way. And to do that, I have my own secrets that I want to share with you right now. How can you prepare for yourself to the increase of prices, recession, problems in the job market, less positions, more people searching for them? Not possible to go through the study to Norway just because of the tuition fee and so on. What can we do about that? We actually can. In order to be ready For such changes, what we need to look at is what other jobs of the future, or what is popular now and what probably will be popular in the coming years, and start preparing ourselves for such positions. Of course, IT market is one of the hottest markets, one of the largest markets in Norway, and one of the easiest one for you outside of Norway to come to Norway. As I said, I see a huge need in software engineers, software developers. Even when I look on the description of the data scientist role, I also see parts of the backend that is required, slide software engineering. So it means that knowing a bit of software engineering will make you stronger data scientist. I also see that now many more want more full stack developers that can do both front-end and back-end. Of course, front-end developers also needed, but it will be one of the highest competitions there because it's one of the easiest one to enter on IT market. So I expect that there will be a huge competition in the coming years. But those that are a bit more complicated to get, those should be targeted, because if you have this special skill set, this is a win situation for you. So same as, even though I'm a team lead of a data team now, even though I still do some small tasks as a data scientist, I work with business analysts, data analysts, machine learning engineers, software engineers, front-end developers, full stack developers, and so on. I personally want to prepare myself in case any changes happen throughout the next year, that I am ready. I also want to focus on acquiring a bit more technical skills. So data engineering is one that is very hard to get skills about. It's not only about programming in SQL and so on, but it's knowing how to optimize databases, different types of databases, cloud technologies, and so on. So I hope that you are interested in doing this trip together with me, but the next year we can talk a bit more how to become a better data scientist with having a bit more technical skills, and we'll do this work all together. Are you ready to join me with this idea? Are you ready to improve and to acquire skills to become a better specialist next year? So if anything happens on the market, you are prepared and you can find a job of your dream in the quickest possible way. If yes, follow me, subscribe to this channel, write your ideas, questions. What are you thinking about 2023? What do you think is gonna happen? Thank you very much for watching until the end. I wish all of you happy holidays, happy new year, and let's rock next year. We can do this. See you next time. Bye.